Good evening everyone at ako naman si Ernest Hernandez mula sa Sports on Air, nangangapit bahay sa Sports Bytes para sa basketball talk and introduce ko muna ang aking mga makakasama sa usapang basketball para sa araw na to. Unahin natin ang ating napaka-poging YouTuber, 3B Hoops, Aldrin Magnaye.
Yun, magandang gabi ulit, kapit bahay ulit, your friendly neighborhood, nandito na naman. So shoutout sa inyo.
At syempre, nandyan din ang ating batikang coach na gwapo rin, si Coach Alexis Torres.
Ako ba yun?
Yan.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me again.
At syempre, may kinuha kaming bagong import ngayong araw na to. Mahilig sa gwapo, Ivan Saldaño. Ivan, okay ka na? Patay tayo, lag na naman tayo. Pagpasensyaan niyo po si Ivan Saldaño, lagi po yung lag, no? Ngayon, lag na naman po siya. At yan, naka-freeze ang kanyang frame. Magbabate mamaya-maya. Pagpasensyaan niyo na kung medyo nahuli. But anyway, nandiyan pa ba si ang ating ang pinakagwapo sa teka, lag na. But anyway, nandiyan na rin si ang ating batikang NBA analyst, Sir Henry Liao. Sir Henry. Ayun. Sir, kamusta kayo dyan?
Nalobat ako eh. Nalobat. Nalobat ako.
Nalobat kayo? At least kasama na namin kayo, no? Kasama na kayo. Anyway, no, para sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, Sir Henry, okay na kayo? Para sa mga nanonood sa atin, live po tayo. So, pwede kayong makidiskusyon sa amin, no? We would love to hear from you. Yung mga comments nyo, pwede namin basahin dito para makasama namin kayo sa usapang basketball. Kung kayo'y nagdi-dinner, ihain nyo na ang pagkain sa harap ninyo. At makikain na rin kayo. Usapang basketball, mas marap yan, lalo na pag may pagkain sa harap natin, no? Di ba? Di ba, Coach Alexis? Yun nga lang, wala pa tayong pagkain. Coach, yung mic natin, yung mga mic natin, hindi naka-on. Oo. Yan.
Oh, wala pa tayong pagkain, wala ring basketball.
Yun lang. Okay, mga topic natin sa araw na to. Syempre, unahin natin Philippine basketball. We will talk about yung upcoming China and versus Philippine games. Kung ano ba maging epekto nito? Yung ang pinaka naapektuhang aspect ng basketball, in our opinion, is the grassroots program ng Pilipinas. Pag-uusapan din po natin yan. At sa NBA, abangan nyo yung mga interesting topics namin dyan. Yung si Greg Monroe, babalik daw. Yung Warriors, kamusta ba tong mga Warriors? Papasok ba to sa playoffs? O mas magandang pumunta na lang sila sa lottery pag tumanap na magandang rookie? Kasi I think we have a lot of good rookies coming in as well next year. At saka yung mga non-rookie teams, pati na rin si Victor Oladipo, kamusta naman? Parang na-overhype ba siya? O may iniindang sakit lang? At saka yung buyout market. Pag-usapan natin buyout market na yan kung talagang nakakatulong sa liga ng NBA. Sige, punta na tayo sa PBA. Unang-una, yan. Ito, yung Philippines and China, sinabi ni PBA Chairman Ricky Vargas, no, iniimbita yata para magkaroon ng games dito sa ating bansa para magkaroon ng isang 10-day exhibition game bago magsimula ang PBA season. And before anything else, no, I want to know the opinion of our prestige panelists here, no? Sir Henry, since kayo ang pinaka-senyores, ano ba yung tingin nyo makakabuti ba to sa ating panahon ngayon?
Unang-una babati muna ako, no? Sa lahat ng nakikinig. Is this really true? Totoo ba to? Or are we just, or is Mr. Vargas,
may kinuha kami
or is Mr. Vargas just romanticizing the narratives? Alam mo, kasi sa ngayon hilo na natin sa pandemic, di natin alam. Sige, nag-aaway ang political, yung mga governments. Sabi, daanan natin sa basketball. I don't know if this is even sports diplomacy, no? Or are we just drumming up the 46 season of the PBA? How serious? Best of 7? For what? Just to drum up the PBA lottery? PBA, upcoming PBA games? Hindi ko alam, no? Kasi una-una, it does not help, no? Para sa akin, mainit na nga issue doon, tapos idadaan mo sa sports, parang baka the other side it might think na, ano ba kayo, hindi ba niloloko, no? Parang hindi udyok nyo kami na idaan itong problema natin na about yung mga kung ano man dagat yon o dagat-dagatan into sports, no? So sabi ko think twice. I'm not sure. Think twice. We could do other things na to help yung mga Pilipinos na ngayon nangangarap na wala ng basketball, so makapanood ng basketball, no? Kasi pili ko baka the Chinese government might think niloloko sila, no?
Medyo sensitive nga yan, Sir Henry, no? So gusto ko malaman din sa mga audience natin, ano ba tingin nyo dito? Dapat ba ituloy natin tong Philippines versus China games dito sa Pilipinas? Coach Alexis, you have coach in the PBA as well. Do you think that this will help us, no? Habang naghahantay tayo sa liga na dumating yung PBA bago maglaro ang PBA, meron tayong ganitong 10-game series between Chinese teams and the PBA Warriors. What do you think of that?
Okay, good evening uli sa lahat. Right now, without any basketball, I don't know if 10 games against China will really make a difference in drumming up interest for the PBA season. But if we focus on the basketball side, one of the big realities is hirap na hirap yung mga mother teams to train because of the IATF restrictions, diba? So ang gusto nilang mangyari, I think, is to form a PBA all-star team, and that all-star team will go up against China. That will require some training also, because we don't want to be humiliated in an international stage. So the training that goes on behind that, plus the training that they have to do with their mother team, will be a bit difficult and will affect the quality of the league once it starts.
Anyway, Coach Chris, are you here? Are you already online? Can we get your opinion on this one? Because coming from a foreign country, and the Philippines has initiated that there will be a 10-game series that they will play. The PBA select team will go up against a Chinese team. Would you be interested in watching that right now, or are you more concerned if this will be possible with what's happening right now during the pandemic?
You're asking me now?
Yeah.
I think it'd be fantastic. I think it's great. I would love to watch it. I'd love to watch a 7-game series. I think it's a great idea. What would, I just joined a little bit late, but what would be the downside? I don't understand why there'd be a downside.
I think it's more of the situation right now of the country that everything's getting locked down again.
Come on now, we got to play. We got to do some things. We have people, Philippines is starved for basketball. Let's play some If you can do it, if you can bring them in, with the regulations and everything else, but if you can play, let's play. Let's go. Let's get going. Yes, I'm all for it. Absolutely.
Okay, I want to ask the coaches here. Would you put Gilas Pilipinas against the Chinese team, or do you want a PBA select team to compete here? Because if we're gonna field the Gilas players soon in international competition, getting to play for 10 games against the Chinese team could help. What do you think of that, Coach Alexis? What's your take on that one?
Well, if we talk about Gilas, that's a whole different story. I would like to see this young team go up against an experienced Chinese national team. But if it's a PBA pick-up all-star team, I don't know what we will gain even as a fan. I don't know what the quality of basketball will be like if all we get is an all-star team. But it would be interesting to see Gilas play against another national team. If it's national team against national team, that's very interesting to watch.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. Okay.
That's more interesting than the PBA Warriors, they say.
More interesting in the sense that we're playing with a team that has been training for a while, not a team that's just been put together.
Okay, Aldrin, what do you think?
Actually, may tanong lang ako, bakit China lang? So, the problem is parang may apoy na ngayon, dadagdagan mo pa ng apoy. So, parang sinabi lang ng Tito Henry, not the best time. So possible siguro pag malamig na.
May tension ng China.
May tension na. So, not the
Philippines.
best time. So, marami namang national teams, nandyan na. So, sina Coach Thailand, nandyan. Malaysia, nandyan. Indonesia, Japan. So, why they insist on China? So, merong malilikot ang isip dyan. So, alam nyo na, nangyayari it's about, papasok dyan ng politics, isipin ng mga fans politics, merong backstory. Lagi merong lalabas dyan at hindi rin maganda sa PBA yon. Actually, hindi talaga siya maganda. Magkakaroon ng other story. So, not the best time ngayon. Pero siguro, pagka okay na yon, maganda yon. Magandang laban yun. Kahit Gilas or selection ng PBA, okay. Pero now, hindi ito yung best time. Siguro kung ibang national team, okay lang. Or Gilas, okay lang. Gilas to national team, pwede yun siguro. Pero, now,
Aldrin,
China,
I'm sure you saw the comments in our social media pages when we posted about this, di ba? It was more political.
Political siya.
It was more political with what's happening right now. So, let's go to Ivan for his thoughts. Ivan, thoughts?
Yeah. Grabe Pero, I'm gonna say that ang makikinabang dito sa best of 7 series na to would be China because the thing is China is preparing for the FIBA Asia qualifiers and they haven't played a single game yet in any of the window. So obviously itong China PBA year na to it's obviously for the sake of China's preparations for the FIBA Asia Cup. So at talagang makikinabang ito ang China. But for the PBA, I don't know. Yun nga, medyo tama si Coach Alex I prefer Gilas instead of the PBA Warriors. Unless Coach Yang will be building up his lineup based on what he thinks would be the PBA core for the 2023 World Cup. But anything else, obviously, it's all about China.
Okay, Coach Chris. Okay, being in a foreign land again, would you want to see Gilas Pilipinas, the youth team, go up against China or the PBA select team?
You know what? I like national team versus national team. If Gilas is preparing for other things, this would be a great chance for them to play together, play on a big stage, play against a quality opponent. And yes, I'm all for that. I agree with some of the other guys where it's national team versus national team. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I would, as Thailand, I would love to have the opportunity to play before the third window, best of 7 series. I would love that challenge, absolutely. And as a fan, I would love to watch it.
Okay, guys. Right now, this is something that has yet to be seen. If there is a big next step that is going to happen, that is when we talk more. No? Right now, it's just an announcement, but we don't have meat yet on what's going to happen and who's going to be playing. The only thing we know is that Coach Yang is going to be the coach, not the national team coach, and will try to field in probably the best PBA players. We talked to Raymond Almasan yesterday. He wants to play if he gets selected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sir Henry, what do you think? Is Gilas the best team to field here or the PBA select team?
Let's put it this way. How sure are you the teams that will play for the PBA All-Star selection are those from that 3 MVP teams or all of them? And if so, assuming we put the Gilas, but they're not getting any PBA players for the national teams, I presume. So my feeling is that this is really I don't know. Well, I don't know. For me, it's really a political ploy to get China to play, regardless of anything, whether it's Gilas or whether it's our PBA All Star team or even in our neighborhood, because it's really hard at this time to get somebody to play against China. Why China? As Aldrin said, why China? Why not Thailand? Why not Malaysia?
Yeah, let's
Why not?
play.
Yes, I would like to see Chris Daleo come here. Hey,
Yes, sir.
coach, my point is there is
I'd
a
love to
political
go.
there is a political
Yeah.
undertone in that putting up, and that is bad, really bad, because we are just inflaming whatever we have problems now. You see, I have a feeling this is just romanticizing the narratives to drum up something that maybe we're not even sure what it is, because from what we know, the games will be postponed again, no? For some time, maybe the next month. So maybe it could be simply a publicity stunt. We don't know either. So we media have something to write on.
Okay, for those who wants to join into the conversation, just let us know, no? Just let us know on the comment section. What do you think? Should the PBA push through with the PBA Warriors versus China, or we opened up an interesting topic here, which is maybe the Gilas Pilipinas players, no, the cadets can be fielded to go up against this China team. So please let us know in the comment section what do you think. But of course, let us go now to our next topic. And we one of the things that are affected during this pandemic is the grassroots program. From basketball to any sport, kids are not allowed to play in bunches. But of course, when you play a team sport, it's always good to play with a whole lot of players than just shooting around in the garage. So, Coach Alexis, how will this affect our future? I mean, right now we won't probably feel it, but maybe down the pipeline, maybe 5 years from now, the 1 or 2 years that kids did not play basketball, 5-on-5 basketball, could affect the training and the development of our future players.
Well, yes, it has, but at the same time, if these kids also get sick, then we won't have any players that will play. I think that's always number one. Health is always at the top. But there are other ways to stay in shape, and there are also other ways to practice. From my personal experience, one of my high school teams, we have regular skills training via Zoom. What we do is our coaches rotate each time, and then we have different skill drills for the kids, and then they do it while we're also demonstrating what to do. Because we're not allowed to have face-to-face training. And then those who have access to their barangay courts can always shoot once the restrictions are lifted or they're softened, right? But otherwise, if we're looking 5 years down the road, I think what's more important is that we survive until the next year at least.
Okay, Coach Chris, what is the situation there in Thailand? How is the grassroots program getting? Is there any grassroots program that is going on right now? Coach Alexis said that basically all online training, but I mean it's still different from playing with each other.
Well, we started practicing for our Thailand Open. Schools now are closed, but and I brought in some high school kids to practice with our high tech team. And then we had an outbreak, a COVID outbreak, so things shut down a little bit. I think for 2 weeks. So I'm waiting to see what happens. But I don't want to get too political, but I think the cure cannot be worse, or what did they say? The cure can't be worse than the disease. I just don't feel. I think COVID is always going to be there. You got to take precautions, push vaccinations, but at the end of the day, people have to live their lives. But I don't want to get too political about it, and it may be an unpopular view with some. But I think we have to live our lives. Be healthy, take care, but to shut everything down, I'm not big into that.
Okay, Aldrin, you live in the province in Batangas City. How is the basketball scene in that area of yours?
Yeah, like I said, we started practice, and I did bring in some schools to help and bring some young kids along to work with some young kids as well. That's high school age, but they did have an outbreak, so they did shut things down. So that I'm kind of in limbo right now, just waiting to see what happens. But I'm just not a big fan of lockdowns and all that stuff. But that's just me. And please don't throw me off the show because of it.
Now, that's the call of our director, Brian Yalong.
Okay, good. Oh, Brian, I don't know if Brian agrees or not, but
I'm just here to pinch hit for him.
Okay. I'm just not a big fan of all those. I mean, use precautions, be smart, but at the end of the day, I think lockdowns are shown across the world that they don't necessarily work. But again, that's just me. And I want to stick to basketball. I don't want to get too political on all this.
Okay, we have some comments in the comment section about our topic a while ago from Francis Ferdinand Doy Dimen, gilas pa rin na may tournament silang papalapit sa salian like FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers at Olympic qualifiers na mas malaking tulong yung mga exhibition games with other national teams para sa mas mahasa pa sa international level. But Ivan and Aldrin, I'll ask you guys. No? Aldrin is in Batangas. Ivan is in... where are you, Ivan?
Los Baños right now.
Spratlys?
But my family is in Puerto Princesa.
Okay.
So,
you guys are far from NCR. What is the basketball scene when you walk around the area?
No basketball until now. No basketball. Wala kang makikita sa mga court, sarado court, half court, wala din basketball. Kahit magyaya ka, wala din maglalaro ng basketball kasi nga meron din namang sinusunod ng mga barangay officials yung policy na no contact sports right now. Kahit mag-training ka mag-isa, bawal din. Wala din nag-training dito. You can try basketball kung sa backyard mo may sarili kang court. Yun lang okay, dito sa province namin. Pero sa other side na may mga nakita na naman ni Sir Ernest yung lugar namin, medyo malayo yata, 1 kilometer yung susunod na bahay. So wala talaga naglalaro ng basketball ngayon dito.
Ivan?
Mm-hmm.
Ivan?
Okay, on my part naman, here in LB, yes. On my part naman here in LB, especially during the MDCQ days, yung talagang essentially the so-called new normal, there is this parang when reopening the basketball courts for rentals, it's a barangay discretion actually. Totoo to. But that was during the MDCQ days, yung talagang that essentially the new normal. So the thing is that medyo malabo yun kasi yung okay, I'm gonna speak in English. It's kind of bleak on what the rules regarding the allowing of basketball in the so-called areas in the low risk sector. So that's why the barangays have been doing some discretion to just allow the players as long as they're residents of the said barangay or the said county. If the so-called DAI or those who are outside the barangays are not allowed to enter the basketball court, so only those who are residents for now. But of course, the lockdown happened, so everything is back to zero. Although I'll add something about this, the lockdown of the kids basketball. On the bright side, I'm not throwing my hat as a beat writer for other sports. This could be an opportunity for them, for the kids, to try other sports, especially those that are not that physical, like some golf or taekwondo. So it's a win-win for kids as long
Taekwondo is a contact sport, Ivan.
learn the game. As long as it's contact sport, yeah. Yun. That's the bright side though.
Okay, Sir Henry, this is...
May kumsay, di ba? Kumsay.
Wait.
Okay, mag-tai chi ka na lang kumaga. But Sir Henry, sa'yo naman, no? Sir Henry, you are the person that lived the most years from all of us here, and this pandemic really is something else. Are you worried that the development, the grassroots programs will be affected, and instead of developing basketball players like my niece right now just joined the entrance for Call of Duty. That is their entrance right now. Call of Duty, Mobile Legends, online chess. Maybe the shift from interest from basketball will shift to something else, and some kids will not
Esports,
will have
esports in general.
will have a different interest other than basketball.
Let me put this way first, no. I agree. I disagree with Coach Daleo, no. I like lockdown. You know, if I have players, I have lockdown defenders. I will take all them to them. I mean, I will defend them, the lockout defenders. So I'm not particularly against lockdown, so long as I have lockdown defenders on my team. Then I'll get them. Number two, if you're talking about maybe training, maybe there's none. You cannot train, but on your own, since we are locked down, maybe it's for our own good. But if we can do something to prop up our interest in other things, physically, you can walk. If you have in your neighborhood, you can walk around. You can train. You know, I have kids who are studying school. They have PE classes. You wouldn't believe it. They're on. They ask you to do some exercise. They watch it on video. So it's for your own good, for your health. Because at the end, the end game is still stay healthy. We cannot do anything. That's why sports competitions lost a lot the past year into this year. The only thing we can do now is protect ourselves. Hopefully, the next few years, when times are better, then we can go all out again. For an elderly, you know, sometimes I feel depressed not doing some things. But for me, I still do a lot of reading, do some writings, research some work, so to keep me active. Because it's not also not only the physical health. We're talking about the mental health. I think this helps the kids because the kids might not know how very infectious this disease. No, we weren't born in 1914, the Spanish flu. You know, they stayed there at home for 3 years. I'm
Sir
sure we
Henry,
have not lived 3 years.
you experienced the Spanish flu? Ganun ba?
1914, yes. I'm reading a lot. I read a lot. Took 3 years. 1914 to 17. They didn't do anything. They stayed home. They don't even have online classes. So I mean, but they were able to survive. So we should be able to survive with these vaccines. And remember, we still have how many years to go? 2 more years? We're just 1 year. No, I'm just kidding. It's just that it's a pandemic. So really, the world stopped a bit. Maybe it's time to reflect also on our own lives and stay healthy. You know, by staying healthy is not by eating. Staying healthy is to keep in shape. You can train, you can do some push-ups. You know, if you ask me to do push-ups, 10 push-ups now, I'll do it for you.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. And for those who are in our live feed right now, please let us know what do you think is the future of Philippine basketball if the grassroots program is being halted for a year or 2 or even 3 years. How can we develop basketball players in a time like this? So please give us your opinion as well. What do you think is going to be the best solution for this one? But let us go to our next topic. We will now go overseas to the National Basketball Association. And the topic here is the Minnesota Timberwolves, Houston Rockets, and Detroit Pistons. Finally, we are going to talk about the Detroit Pistons in one of our podcasts and are headed to the non-playoff finish. The three teams have equal chances to get the number one pick. Who do you think will be number one pick among the rookies? And will Kai be drafted in this draft? So what do you guys think? Now, Coach Alexis, I'll go with you first.
All right. We're looking at three teams who are basically tanking the season. I think Oklahoma should be there theoretically, but they're playing so well that they won't fall down to that number 1 pick. What the NBA did a few years ago of changing the lottery odds was good. It disincentivized teams from tanking. But of course, if you're still in the bottom of the league, you'll have a better chance of getting that top pick. A lot of guys have shown promise. I don't have a name in particular that stands out. Maybe somebody else on the panel will have a name there, but it's hard to tell. We have some guys who went to the NBA G League's Ignite team. Jalen Green showed something in the bubble. Then you also have one of his teammates who showed well in the bubble. These guys just came straight from high school playing against grown men. And then you have the guys who are in the NCAA. When you look at them, they're playing against kids. Basically, they're playing against their peers. So it's going to be a bit difficult to compare their performances. You know, in college, you may be a 25-point scorer, but then you're going up against somebody who is 17, 18 years old. And in the NBA G League, like what the Ignite team showed, you're going up against professionals, people who are trying to get a job in the US or overseas. Right? So when it comes to who will be the number 1 pick, it's too early to tell. I'm sure somebody else on the panel will have a better idea than me.
Okay, I'll go to our YouTube right now. I think he has a good idea of who are going to be the players to be drafted from 3B Hoops. Aldrin, you have just today Scottie Pippen's son declared for the a draft, as well as Ron Harper Jr., who is also Phil Am, has declared for the NBA draft. But of course, the top 3, you have Cade Cunningham in the mix. Also,
Mobley, Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs, Jalen Green. So
Okay.
actually, before that, ngayon kasi hindi na siya talaga, hindi ko na sigurado kung makakakuha ka ng first pick even you are in the top lowest team. Dati alam ko, the last team that they got the first pick with the lowest odd is the Chicago Bulls with Derrick Rose with 2008. Right now, yung sa Minnesota, hindi nila pwedeng bitawan si Cade Cunningham. So, different kind of player can play 3 different kind of position, point guard, shooting guard, small forward. And then the Minnesota history, wala nang si Karl Anthony Towns na lang ang player na natira sa kanila na na-draft nila within 4 years. So, the problem pa with Minnesota, they are the lowest valued team in the NBA. So, nasa 1 billion lang sila. I think they are the 29 or 30 teams with the value. So, they cannot give Karl Anthony Towns supermax contract. He has 3 years remaining in his contract. Now, they can trade him within this offseason or next year and get a new franchise player. So, may mga balita rin, D'Angelo Russell will be traded this offseason, and also Karl Anthony Towns will be traded also because of that factor. The supermax contract will not give to Karl Anthony Towns if he cannot put the Minnesota in the playoffs, like what happened to DeMarcus Cousins. So in that, the top 3 players supposedly to be drafted is only Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley, those 2 for Minnesota. If the Houston Rockets will be the first pick, it's Jalen Green or Jalen Suggs. If Detroit, Evan Mobley or Cade Cunningham. That's the 2. Because yun ang kailangan ng mga teams na yun eh. But if sometime if Golden State di nakapasok na parang loto, nakachamba, nanalo ng first pick, Evan Mobley is the first best option sa kanila, and Cade Cunningham for the first pick.
Okay, Coach Chris, I don't know if you've been monitoring some of these players that Aldrin has been saying. Do you see any players that would fit into some of those teams mentioned?
You know what? It'll be for me, the toss-up for the first overall pick will be between Cunningham and Suggs. I think, Suggs played so well in the NCAA tournament. His stock really rose. He's such a high, fast motor type player. He can defend, so athletic. I think between those 2 are going to be your top overall pick. And going back to Kai Soto, I don't think Kai Soto will be drafted. If he declares he won't be drafted in the first round. So that's kind of, for me, that's my answer. It'll be Suggs or Cunningham, number 1, number 2, and Kai Soto will not be drafted.
Okay, Sir Henry, how about you?
For me, first of all, this year's draft is not it's weak. It's very shallow, no, and yet we don't know who would pick who depending on their leagues. No? Minnesota, if they finish assuming top 3 with the worst records, and in the lottery July 21 they get a pick. They can get the center. Maybe Evan Mobley, 7-footer from UC, Southern California, is a good player. Then Jalen Suggs, the game winner for Gonzaga, there is NCAA tournament semifinals. So. But if you ask me, I'll be a little bit nationalistic. I like Jalen Green, no? He's a Filipino blood, 6'6". He is star power. So I have a feeling he'll be he could down the road he could be a star for any team, no? And keep the turnstiles ringing, very very popular player. And of course, somehow, hopefully, we don't know. Assuming he puts his name the early entry, the deadline still a few weeks from now. Kyle Soto makes it, no? But otherwise, most of the consensus that Cunningham will make it. Oklahoma State as a number 1, but that doesn't mean anything. There are lots of number 1 draft choices who were flopped, no? I mean, 1 or 2 years, then they're gone, no? So I'm not putting a lot of money in this draft. For one, I don't think Golden State has its own pick after getting from Oklahoma City Thunder Kelly Oubre, no? So for this draft, I think it's not much again. There's no impact player. Maybe if I can get somebody impact player, maybe who's the best player down? Maybe somebody who can make an impact immediately, or a franchise altering player. Otherwise, can go anywhere, and I really don't care much.
Okay, another factor here that could take place, since I think Aldrin is saying that the Minnesota Timberwolves are low budgeted right now, but recently there's a report right now that Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lore will have the intention to buy the franchise. Ivan, do you think this will be a game changer? That the baseball star, Alex Rodriguez will be buying this team and keeping this team in Minnesota.
Of course.
Okay.
The thing with A-Rod is that he's a champion. He played for a storied franchise in the MLB, the New York Yankees. So he knows how to win games. He knows how to win rings for his team. And we all know Alex Rodriguez, future baseball Hall of Famer for sure. But him getting interested in buying a skidding basketball franchise is an thing of interest. Of course, he wants to instill that winning culture as if it's going back to the KG days in which they almost made the finals. They were there. So seeing A-Rod getting interested in buying the Timberwolves would be a good thing for Mini, at least in the short run. Or maybe not. No. How can I say this? Maybe in the short run it will not be evident, but we will see that in the long run once they get that enough finances to lock up good players or good free agents, and who knows, they might sign Cade Cunningham to the max length, assuming they go with Cunningham number 1. By the way, speaking of Cunningham, I think we forgot something. How about Johnny Juzang? He lifted UCLA to the Final Four, and he's projected as a lottery pick. I can say about yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ivan. We now try to go to our next topic, since we already have like 20 minutes to go. And we have like 3 topics left. let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors play-in playoffs or what's going on there? Is Kelly Oubre going to be a big factor for them? Coach Chris, your take on the Golden State Warriors right now? I think Draymond Green is making a lot of headlines for the wrong reasons, and he's saying that he doesn't want to play in a play-in tournament. But you know the trajectory right now is that they are going to be in the play-in tournament if they choose to push for a big run in the late the season.
This week he doesn't want to play in the play-in tournament. Last week he was talking about transgenders. The week before that he was talking about women's soccer players. Don't put a lot of faith in what Draymond Green has to say. He's just monopolizing that microphone because somebody wants to listen to him. So his ego going. But if they got a chance to win, Curry's a winner. If they got a chance to win and get into that playoffs, they're going to play. They're going to play hard to get in those playoffs. And whether it's a play-in game or whether they win it outright to advance, that's just the makeup of a champion professional athlete. No athlete, especially when they tasted that championship, goes into tank. I don't care because their competitive juices and their competitive fire is above your normal person. So yeah, I think Golden State will continue, and if they do the play-in game, they're going to play for it. If they make the playoffs outright, they're going to do that. They will not tank. No.
Okay, Coach Alexis, what do you think of the Golden State Warriors right now? I mean, Steph Curry just erupted with like 34 points a while ago, just this morning. You think, let's play general manager here. Do you think that it will be good for them to push for their best finish, or maybe look at the lottery and maybe beef up, putting some youth into that Golden State mix?
You know, they won the lottery last year by accident. They still had the number one pick. They have James Wiseman. I don't know if they want to go back there.
I think it's number two, Coach Alexis. Number two.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the number 2 pick. But then at the same time, Coach Chris is right. They have this competitive spirit in them. Nobody gets on that floor and they want to lose. If you've ever been on a basketball team, even in the lowest league that you can be in, the moment you step on that floor, it's not as if you want to lose. Nobody's trying to lose. And we have to remember that these are all professionals and that the way they play each game, that they'll be judged by that. They'll be judged by that game for their next contract. So when you see guys who are... So you can't tell a player to, hey, let's tank. I think only the Philadelphia 76ers have openly said that they're trying to lose. But otherwise, this team should just play. If they can get into the play-in tournament or straight into the playoffs, they should. I don't believe in trying to lose. I don't think that is a good way of setting the culture of a team.
And I think that the fans will be disappointed as well if this happens.
Well, I think some of the fans want them to tank.
Okay.
Some of the fans want them to get another top pick. But personally, if you ask me, I don't believe in a culture of losing.
When you have players that tasted that championship, you know, that's different. Those players are different. To win a championship on a level, and in the NBA level, it's the best in the world. When you have players that win that championship, they're not tanking. They're just not, because they're cut above. When you win that championship, it puts you on such a level. And in order to get to that championship and win that championship, you're a special breed of player. So I agree with Alexis. Sorry to butt in, but that's when you're a championship, nothing beats it. Nothing.
Yeah.
You're not gonna tank.
What Coach Chris is saying, you know, if you watch the Warriors now, when Steph is on the floor, they play like a different team. They are focused. They are ready to go. When Steph is not on the floor, that's when you see a difference in the way they play.
They look like a G-League team.
Sometimes, yeah. They lose their focus when their leader isn't on the floor. And that's what Coach Chris is saying about being cut from a different cloth, you know, from that championship cloth.
You saw it with, I'll put it in again, Kobe Bryant willed his team to win championships. Michael Jordan willed his team to win championships. You know, Curry's won championships. Those guys know what it takes. They're cut above, and they're going to get on you if you're not with them to go win that championship. That's just the way that it works now. Sorry to butt in again.
Okay, I want to ask a guy who loves the Golden State Warriors, although he doesn't want to admit it. Ivan, what do you think the Warriors should do? Ivan? Nangyari? Ivan? Teka, ano ba nangyari kay Ivan? Sige na nga, Sir Henry, ikaw muna. Sir Henry, let's go to Sir Henry first.
Let's put it this way, no? Sometimes it's not the fault of the players. Players want to play. But the problem is some teams don't want you to play. They want to develop the young players. So if you want to play, but the coach...
Okay, one thing that I'm thinking about the Warriors, yes, I like the Warriors right now because, yes, you know, Steph, but one thing I'm thinking about the Lakers, the Warriors right now is, wait, what? Why?
Mga 5 minuto ko lag.
Am I good ba? Wait, am I good?
Okay, teka lang. Sir Henry muna. Sir Henry, ha? Sir Henry. Okay, go. Sir Henry.
Okay. I just what I've been saying before. Players want to play. Some of them want to play. The problem is some teams don't want you to play. And they don't want to play, even it's on a losing team. But the owner says, you don't play. So what do you do? So sometimes it's not really the fault of the players. Sometimes it's the owners of franchise owners. That being said, for me, the Warriors are still the Warriors. They're the Dubs, D-U-B-S. They're not the Dubs, D-U-M-B-S. The players, I think they want to play. They want to win. No matter if it's for the 9th and 10th place, play-in tournament where just one game you can be out. So it's not some of the players are quitting on the team. No, it's more on some of the teams like the Orlando Magic, the Houston Rockets. They wanted to develop young players, supposedly develop young players, and sit out the veteran players without knowing that these players want to win. They want to play regardless it's for all the marbles or just one piece of marble.
It's about teaching the culture to the young ones for the rest of the season as well. Now, but Aldrin, your thoughts.
Actually, the Golden State, they cannot tank right now because they have a shot for number 8. Actually, number 8, they only need at least 9 wins. They have only 19 games left. They only need 9 wins to be in the number 8 spots, or number 8 or number 7. So it's too late to tank. It's too late. And then also, Steph is a champion, and last year hindi siya nakapaglaro, and now it's his chance to prove himself actually.
Okay, let's give a chance to Ivan. I don't know. Okay, let's go to our next topic right now. Okay, we will try to get to Greg Monroe coming back. He is training in Miami right now. Would he be a good fit? Especially that I think Bama Adebayo needs some help as well. Coach Chris, what do you think of Greg Monroe? Does he have something left in the tank right now? If he goes to the Lakers, it will be like a Detroit Pistons reunion.
Yeah, I don't. Greg Monroe, I don't think is on too many radars. He didn't do well overseas. He's been out of it. He's a big, slow, cumbersome guy. Maybe to stick him at the end of the bench, maybe. But as a whole, there's no future if you're looking at Greg Monroe to come on in and help your ball club. So I think it's nice that guys want to get back on the NBA roster. But I just, if I was a GM, there's other players and I got the draft coming up. To spend money and time on Greg Monroe, I think it's a waste.
Coach Alexis.
Yes.
We're talking about washed-up players here. Is he not washed up, Greg Monroe?
Greg Monroe, I think the last time he was in the NBA when he was relevant was with the Celtics. I think, if I'm not mistaken. yeah, Coach Chris is right. I think he's not on a lot of people's radars. If he is, I don't know why. I don't know if he fits in the modern NBA. We don't really have back to the basket guys as much. Even the most dominant big men now, which are Jokic and Embiid, can play outside. And this guy struggled internationally. He played in China where he had good numbers, and then he went to Europe for a while, where he also did a bit well. But you know what? If Greg Monroe doesn't do well now in the NBA, you know where he would be a good fit?
Talk and text.
He would be a great PBA import in the conference where they can have 6'10" import. He would be great in the PBA. We'll see another super import scoring 50 points and getting 20 rebounds per game.
Aldrin. Okay, so Coach Alexis, sige, pagpatuloy mo.
No, I'm just saying he's a perfect import, but I don't know if he'll make that big of an impact in the NBA. The last guy who came from a situation like this, who made an impact, was Carmelo Anthony, being out of the league for a while and then getting signed. But Greg Monroe is no Carmelo Anthony.
Okay. Aldrin?
Actually, best option talaga si Greg Monroe for Miami Heat because the first size, rebound.
He's gonna be
spacing.
replacing Myers Leonard. I think
Yeah.
that's a good.
Yeah. They select Dwayne Dedmon that played last year. I think 1 year. They give opportunity for Dedmon. So right now, Greg Monroe is one of the best option for the big man. Wala na kasing big man talaga ngayon sa free agents na available. So they pass on Aldrich, also Drummond. They give away Myers Leonard and Kelly Olynyk. There's no option to get Greg Monroe and take a chance on him. That's only the best option for Miami for a big.
Sige, Ivan. Okay, Sir Henry, kayo naman, Sir Henry.
Monroe who?
Matt Monroe.
Oh, is he related to Marilyn Monroe? No? Related to Earl the Pearl Monroe? Who's he? He's a deadwood. Just leave him in peace.
You won't give him a chance, Sir Henry.
One more chance is too many a chance.
Yun. So, yeah. We are still with the Miami Heat right now, but lately, one of the biggest trades that happened in the NBA was Victor Oladipo going to the Miami Heat. But it hasn't really panned out well for the first few games. Now, he has an injury, but do you think this is just a short term, or will Victor Oladipo get his way through the system of Coach Eric Spoelstra? Coach Alexis, you get the first crack on this one.
System-wise, I think he fits well. Again, like the last time we were here on the show, my question has always been about his health. I saw his injury the other night. He just landed, and then he had to get an MRI. That's never a good thing when you just land and nobody hit you and you get injured. Kind of like the Porzingis injury a few years ago. From personal experience, I tore my ACL and I didn't have any contact, and that was a bad injury. And this guy has a history of knee problems, and it wasn't his ACL but his quads. And don't quote me on this, but doctors say that the quads are more difficult to recover from than the ACL.
Wow.
So again, it's just a question of, will he be healthy enough to contribute? I don't think the system will be a problem for a guy like Victor Oladipo.
Okay, Sir Henry, what do you think of Victor Oladipo in the Miami right now?
Yeah. He'll be a hit for the rest of the season. Assuming he can play, right knee injury. The last time he went for a dunk. But the problem is after the season, he'll be a free agent. You know, for somebody who declined a $45.2 million over 2 years, a contract that big. He'll regret it. No? I don't think he'll be worth that much, knowing the injury. Of course, he was an all-star player with Indiana Pacers. So, but down the road, I don't think somebody will take a flyer on him in this year, right? Not, this year's free agency, no. So you could regret that $45.2 million extension deal from the Rockets. So I don't see he'll last for the Heat for this season alone, but I don't think for the injury he's having, and I don't think he's really want to play for the Heat. The way I see it, he wants to test the market. But after this latest injury, the teams in the free agent market actually will be thinking twice.
Okay, Coach Chris, your take on this one is Victor Oladipo damaged goods right now.
He'll probably at the end of the season join the Brooklyn Nets like everybody else. That'll probably be where he'll go as a free agent for a chance to to come off the bench and win a chip. So I don't know. He makes a lot of money. There's a whole new crop of players coming in. You know, he'll finish out your season and then they'll try to test the market. Nobody's going to pay that type of money for him, but he still could be a quality player for you, depending on the role that he has. So, you know, give it the off season to fully get healthy, and yeah, he'll go to somebody and he'll help somebody win games because he's an explosive type player, and it's just going to take some time. I don't think he's done. I don't think his career is over. No.
Yeah, maybe the role will just diminish.
Right. I think somebody will find a role for him. Like I said, he'll go to the Brooklyn Nets and they'll win another championship with 15 great superstars.
Aldrin, what do you think?
Actually, since OKC, he's already a damaged good in OKC before he recovered his career in Indiana, and then he got injured 2019. That tapos naglaro pa siya ng 2020. So actually, the problem is management for Victor Oladipo. So if he wanna play, actually he need to take a rest at least a month. If he wanna take a recover and recover also his career that already been damaged since last season. So free agent na siya, so mahirap na yun, mahirap. Baka bumaba yung value talaga niya.
Right now, okay, we go to our Ivan. You want to take you have your take on Victor Oladipo with the Miami Heat? And the awkward silence is there again. So, anyway, so we go to our next topic right now. We go to our next topic. Sorry, I can't help it. We have a request topic right here. Is the buyout market hurting the NBA? Okay, Sir Henry, you have covered the NBA
Yes. Okay.
since the 70s.
I have no comment for now because I haven't seen him play that much.
Well noted. Well noted. But Sir Henry, what do you think of the buyout market? Is it helping the NBA or is it just helping out the super teams?
Let's define what a buyout is. No? Buyout means you have a contract still existing, then you want to play for another team. That's why you want it to be bought out, or the team doesn't want you. So they'll ask for somewhat a discount. So they give you the buyout, then you go through waivers. I don't know if if I'm right, 48 or 72 hours. During that time, the lowest ranking teams have the first crack at you before it goes up. But the problem, before it goes to the other teams, the top level teams. You notice why Brooklyn got LaMarcus Aldridge, they got what's the other guy they got? Then the Lakers got Blake Griffin. Then this guy Andre Drummond went to the Lakers from the Cavaliers. The problem there is it's usually the top caliber teams who are looking to beef up their playoff bound teams that are getting it also. players that I mean the teams that are lower ranking couldn't get those their services, no? So that's a problem there. Why it happens, I don't know. Maybe they can always pass players themselves who, you know, they will they'll tell you that they won't sign up with your team if you take sign them to after waivers, no? So that's very important. I don't know how they're gonna fix that, the NBA, because it's obvious na, but it only happened this season, because in past years the buyouts are really not much. I mean, it's only this season when top players now with big salaries, they want to go to championship contending teams and get through a buyout, no? So if you look at the system itself, with the exception of this season, through the years, it's not really that big an issue. Eh. So I maybe now, I really, if you take it in an totality, it doesn't happen a lot. Eh. It's just this year, Brooklyn and the Lakers are going to Star Wars. What's the sequel? I don't know.
Okay, Aldrin, you've been covering the NBA as well. Is this a good thing for the NBA, or only a few teams are benefiting the buyout market?
Actually, only few teams on benefiting on that buyout market, because the player has a choice to choose the teams he want to join. It's different from the waiver. So if you check the waive, if some player will be waived, they have a chance within 48 hours to claim other team to claim them. But in the buyout, is automatically they will bought your contract and then wait for 48 hours. After that waiver claim, they can choose what teams they want to join. It's like just a free agent. But the problem in the buyout, it's not only hurt the league. It's mean if a top caliber player is been bought out, his career is near in the NBA, because his base contract will be very low. Teams only can give him at least minimum level contract or mid-level contract. So based on the CBA rule, if like Blake Griffin, he has 1.2 million dollars. Other team can offer him at least 2 million to 5 million. Like also the Lamarcus with the range, and also the youngest player that bought out this season is what you call him, Andre Drummond. So he is only 27, 28 years old, and he has $700,000 on his contract. And if you times it with the 120%, he can only get at least 1.5 million to 2.5 million for averaging double in the NBA.
And how about you, Coach Alexis? What do you think of the buyout market situation?
The buyout market situation is good for those teams that are trying to get over the hump. Just like it was mentioned earlier that
More of the short term, Coach Alexis. More of the short term years.
More of the short term. I don't see how the buyout market makes a big splash. I don't think anybody has made that big of an impact from the buyout market in winning a championship, other than being injury insurance.
Paulo Laig said here that at a certain point, the diminishing returns, when you make that much, the players leave money on the table for a chance to win a ring. Coach Chris, what do you think of this? What do you think of the buyout market right now? Because it recently, it's not the trades that made impact. It's more of the buyout market.
Yeah, it's the fans. Actually, the fans will dictate how this plays out. How I'm saying is when they're in the bubble, it didn't matter. There were no fans. Everybody made their money. Now it's a limited amount of fans. But when fans are not supporting their local team because they don't have star value, then you might see that shift where that goes to collective bargaining agreement and that rule gets changed. You know, because Atlanta Hawks, if they're not drawing people, or the Denver Nuggets aren't drawing people, and you need some star value, they're not going to just allow people to go all gravitate to the Nets or all gravitate to the Lakers. They're going to want to spread around because everybody wants their piece of the fan pie. That's what I feel. Right now, it doesn't matter because people aren't in the stadiums, and sponsorship dollars are there regardless. But TV, if it continues to decline and TV revenue doesn't increase, and people just aren't interested in watching a local club, then I think that will dictate that rule change in that, or proposed rule change, the collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach Chris. And right now, Ivan, you to have your take on the situation of the buyout market. Is it helping the NBA? And
Okay naman ako,
there
no?
we
Yun.
go ahead.
Let's face it, the Nets abused it, but in a good sense because yes, they have enough finances to run the team right now, and right now they have their so-called best lineup ever. But the problem with the buyout market is that once you get waived to the buyout, you can choose everything you like, right? But the thing is, of course, teams would prefer a playoff team. But the question is, what if that team doesn't have enough finances to sign him up? So the disadvantage for the player who gets bought out is that if he fails to get a team until the deadline, he has to wait until the next off season. That could potentially well wash him up, and that's what happened to the likes of Boogie. Especially Boogie. I'm kind of sad because he was once the projected franchise player of the Kings, and now he's down to a 10-day contract, guy. So that's sad for him.
It's like players are getting revenge from being bought out and trying to get a few more bucks before ending the season. Like what Christian Clemente said, Ben McLemore, maganda laro niya kanina sa Nets. Yeah, he had a good game and he was a factor against the Nets. But again, the buyout people are the ones making impact as well. Andre Drummond, Ben McLemore. But with that, I guess, okay, that wraps up our show for today. We had an overtime of 4 minutes, but it was worth it as well. But again, I'll give a chance for everyone to have their to promote whatever they want. Let us start with our international guest, Chris Daleo.
Oh, thank you. I joined a little bit late. I didn't have power all day and no internet, so I got there just
came in time. You just came in time, Coach. You just came in time.
Yeah, so I'm very happy about that. But no, I have nothing to promote. I just want basketball to get back going again. I just want people to get playing again. I just want to get back to normal again, and that's it. Nothing else. And trust me, if you guys want Thailand to come over there to play, we'll be there. Just send me an email, and we'll show up and play.
So there you go. We have Thailand making an open offer right now to play with our national team or the PBA Select. If they get invited, they would love to go.
Absolutely. No problems.
Okay, Coach Alexis.
Again, thank you for having me on. And I just want to wish everybody good health. Everybody stay safe. Stay indoors if you can. And I want to say hi to my friend Coach Paulo Liao. He gave me a hard time last time I didn't greet him. So, kamusta, Coach Pao? I hope you're having a good time.
Okay, Aldrin, how about you? 3B Hoops in the house. Aldrin, your mic.
Nako pala ako, sorry. So, shoutout pala sa mga 3B Hoops fans dyan. So, salamat sa panonood ulit. So, mga videos natin, abangan natin ulit. May mga upload ulit tayo regarding sa mga trivia ngayon. So, yun lang. Salamat ulit sa pag-invite.
And Coach Sir Henry Liao, our NBA analyst.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this program, and hope you guys who are out there enjoy the discussion today. By the way, I hope to visit Thailand the next few days to get a signed autograph from Coach Daleo.
Oh yeah, that won't take you far. Yeah, you'll have to pay somebody. Yeah, that'll be big. That's big. That's a prized possession. You bet.
Okay, thank Thank you very much. And finally, Ivan, I hope your internet is fine right now because this is your chance to greet your fans. And
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Shout out to Globe for screwing me up. Yon.
Come on,
Yun.
we can have
And-
there's a sponsor here.
Shout out to Globe for screwing me up. Good night.
You don't bash Globe. And
Also,
we're trying to get
shout out pala kay Kuya Meng and follow me on my socials. Ayan. At Ivan Saldeno.
Okay, Ivan, thank you very much for joining. And my name is Ernest Hernandez. Right now, I'm quite hungry, but what we want to do right now is, of course, okay. Please like Sports Bytes. We will have more podcasts here. We will have more crossover podcasts with Sports Bytes and Sports on Air, and of course Sports on Air as well. Please like it on Facebook and YouTube, and please do monitor the articles in Sports Bytes and Sports on Air as well. And with that, we will have a short class picture right now with our director, Brian, the Godfather, Brian Yalom.
Assume the position.
All right.
All right,
And-
ready. 1, 2,
And
3.
there you go.
Nice one, Ivan.
And with that, thank you everyone. We end the show with this special message for everyone is just to stay safe and God bless.